I just want to talk about accountability, adaptability, expectations. I've been really exhausted lately, struggling to sleep. I've been staying up to ungodly hours to the point where my chest has been hurting an awful lot because I'm pushing myself to the brink, in all honesty. Time is just getting so far away from me, it's quite frightening. And that's how it's been lately. I'm going to share a spiritual connotation to this message. And I know a lot of time when I speak about my spiritual experiences, that tends to be what derails people. So I'll say some profound things, which I know have deep insights. I'm an intelligent person. I draw from experience. And I think sometimes it resonates with people, which I think quite often it does. But as soon as I speak about anything spiritual, it's like, oh, no, 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 no. And then people ain't interested. But I'm not here to, to be what people want me to be. I'm literally here to have my experience, and that's what I share. So I've been trying I've been trying hard, and I talk about balance an awful lot, and I've been trying my best, and it's exhausting trying to when time just keeps getting away. I know I have to prioritize my projects, but at the same time, I'm not happy with the ones I've already created. But I know there's a need to finish current ones. But I have hobbies, interests, and other things that sidetrack me, and I get a lot of science in my life. I could go deep about that, but my books are there. People can find out my other videos. But the other night I was going to bed and I asked Spirit something because I often have conversations anyway, and they do always come through for me. I have beautiful moments. So if, for instance, if I ask them to protect me, I feel that them come close. If I ask Archangel Michael to cleanse energy, I have my eyes closed when I do it. I kid you not. My it's either quite quick or sometimes it'd be a few seconds, but either way, it's just I don't enforce anything. So in my mind, it's clear, nothing really there. It's more a bit darker than bright, and then all of a sudden it just gets bright, and I feel an immense amount of peace come over me, and I know he's there. Yeah, to people, it's not to say to people believe. I don't really care what whether people believe it or not, But I recently, I've been working on things on the computer. I'm gaming. I'm not hurting anyone. I live alone. There's no. At the end of the day, anything that falls back on me, it falls back on me. So if I make a decision that makes my life harder, then I take ownership of that. It's not hurting anybody. So recently finished up buying all my daughter's presents, everything she asked for Christmas. Don't live with her mother, so between the two of us, she gets quite a lot. She gets me, then she gets then she gets other stuff. So it's like she doesn't go without. And Black Friday come, and I treated myself to something I couldn't actually afford. Really, it's pushed me to the brink. It pushed me literally to the brink. I got myself a handheld gaming device, even though I've got a gaming laptop. But I don't want to keep being glued to a desk. I want that freedom to be able to just sit in other locations and play different types of games. Got a lot of emulators on it now, and I've been working my ass off to get it up and running because it's not so fun when you get something and you can't really use it to its full capacity because there's work to be done. A lot of files to be transferred, operating systems to be installed. I've been tinkering with it, and I enjoy doing all that. Actually, sometimes I enjoy the tinkering more than the actual using. So I've put different operating systems on where you dual boot it. I've upgraded the storage, so I had to take it apart to put the new storage in it. I had to set up the emulators and all sorts of things. But again, it takes time, and I'm sitting there downloading. I'm just relaxing, but it's like I turn around and it's like 9 p.m. and I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Are you literally kidding me?" And it's been like that past 2 nights. But even before I got that, I was having other moments where it's just the time is just flying away from me. So I'm not eating dinner properly at all. I live alone anyway, and to be honest, I don't really take that much care of myself. I think when most people can attest to that, when you live on your own, it's just there's less of a desire, I think, to create to do any go out your way. You should be prioritizing yourself, but because you can take care of yourself or you don't mind, it's like you can put up with it. That's something for me to work on, of course. But bear in mind, I got that. I couldn't really afford it. I was trying to work out my bills, and I'm like, yeah, that should be. We should be able to just get through there. And then obviously you try and look at the next when you got money coming and all sorts of things. But I knew it was pushing me close. But it was a Black Friday thing. So effectively, this machine's supposed to be £500, and it was dropped to £400 because it's in Black Friday. But then I looked and I went on eBay, and I saw there was in the UK we got big outlets, big shops, so you can trust them. And they had like a reconditioned, refurbished section clearance, and it was £370. So it wasn't a lot cheaper, but what was interesting was it come with this. eBay were doing a discount, 20% off Black Friday, off certain retailers, and they was one of them. So I ended up getting a £500 gaming handheld device for £300. So I've saved £200 straight away. And then I bought the extra storage from Amazon, and there was only so many in stock. Now it's saying for that exact item, you have to wait 2 months for it to get back in stock. Now they might get it sooner, but it's not the point. The price has gone up slightly as well. So overall, in terms of bargain and value, I've done bloody well. In terms of the hardship it's put me under a lot of pressure to the point where I feel a bit crazy for doing it. But it's like, I don't. On the one hand, yeah, I shouldn't have done it. On the other hand, it's a great deal. And when things are improving, I'll look back and go, that was a great purchase, because it's going to cost me double to replace it. If I sold it or returned it or whatever, I'd have to find double in future, and it annoys me. There you go. It's a treat to self. And I get a bit resentful sometimes. I think I deserve nice things. Life shouldn't be this hard. I work my arse off. But like I say, for a short period, and I always said this though. My last book, Find Your Peace, Save Your Soul, that came out in August, and then I did a few edits. I think I re-released it in an update in September. And I said that normally I take a break, and it's like I deserve a break. But I feel like internally I feel an awful lot of pressure on myself to be constantly achieving. Almost like the world needs what I've got to do, but it's not. I haven't had the recognition or reception yet. But it needs to be ready for a given moment, for when the world's ready. So I have to step up to the plate to be ready for that. To have done the work. That's how it feels internally, and I get signs from Spirit Source that that's exactly what needs to be done. So I was really conflicted by this, because first of all, it's pushing me to the brink with my exhaustion. I mean, I'm literally recording this video at 5 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't sleep. I was actually at the brink, and I've gone to sleep, and I woke up and it's 2 hours later, and I'm like, I can't. It's like insomnia at this point. It's absolutely maddening. So the other night I said, I think it was last night, the night before. I just asked in my mind, clear. I don't preempt any answer. If I don't ask, I'm not someone that asks an answer, and then I'm only interested in the answer I want to receive. It's not how it works. Why ask a question if you're not going to receive? So I clear my mind. And I just said, should I keep that? No, what is it I need? It was something like that. It was like, what do I need to be doing? What do I need to be doing? So I need guidance. That's what I say to my guides sometimes. I say, I need you. I need you. I don't do that. They know that. I am far more humble than people I think would realize. I'm stoic at times. I'm serious. But when it comes to my spirit guides, I literally, I have so much faith in and respect them that whatever's expected of me, I will listen, even though sometimes I get frustrated. So I just said, what is it I need to do? What is needed? What am I supposed to be doing? And they said the book. And I already had signs of this, that I need to get this audiobook finished for the new recent book. And I've got a few other manuscripts in development, but they want my spiritual book next. And I know that because I got my tarot cards out and I asked about this book, and it was a really, really positive thing. And then when I said about the audiobook, it was a really, really positive answer too. So I said, what about this handheld? I said, what should I do about that? Like, should I keep it? And the answer came straight. It came clear in my mind, and it was, you can keep it as long as it doesn't interfere with your book. And that's the sign I got. And I'm getting goosebumps now. So I'm aware that the distraction it's causing me at the moment, source, universe, spirit, however you want to refer to, I know they're monitoring and watching, and I know I need to get control of this, because otherwise they'll do something where and this is where you're held accountable. We're held accountable to self, but source also holds us accountable. If we have a purpose or something to fulfill in this lifetime, they will make sure we achieve it. Whether we're happy achieving it can be a completely different story. So effectively, I have the tools to create the change. And if I become my own obstacle, they will step in and do something. The device could malfunction, it could break. There could be a situation where I have literally no other choice but to get rid of it. There could be any amount of things. So I need to get that under control and focus on this book. Now, the weird thing is, before I got this, I started getting a bit fed up. I was, I'd been gaming quite a bit in periods, not all the time. I felt I was gaming more, but then I realized how many hours was you doing it? And it wasn't much, like an hour. It's just because I was sitting there more doing these videos. I was also like watching YouTube videos. I was doing things, It wasn't just that, and it was like because I'm sat there, I just attune it all to sort of gaming. But then I had this really, really reinvigorated, fresh feeling of I want to get back to creating. When I'm in the mood, I love it. I absolutely love being creative. I love writing my books. And sometimes I enjoy doing the audiobooks. But when I'm not in the mood, it's a grind because I feel pressured to do something that I'm not necessarily choosing. It's more a need. So in my life, I feel a destiny to be of service, and I think that I get a lot of signs alluding to that too. So it becomes less about me and more about the world, more about helping people. So like, and this is what I was getting about. This is what I was really getting at about the balancing of it all. From a personal point of view, I would love to just like be. I'd love to be someone that doesn't have to think. I'd love to be that at times. I know. It's like pure ignorance that some people get, and that's not me judging anything in a negative way. It's just that it'd be really nice not to have the weight of on your shoulders all the time. And that's what I live with. So even when I'm trying to relax, I'm exhausted. I'm mentally drained. There's always a pressure to do, to be, and it's unstoppable. It's relentless. So even when I'm enjoying myself, it's never a pure relaxed state. There's always like an internal pressure to be working on the next thing, and a little bit of guilt and remorse for enjoying or having something that's maybe a bit indulgent. And it's frustrating, because you think I earned this, I deserve this. We all deserve some time to ourselves. Um, I've said in previous videos as well that I have a bit of an addictive mindset. It's a mental, it is. It's an obsessive mindset. And I just think that comes with my nature, to be honest. I think it's like we all have personalities, of course. And I think some of it is there to be a real benefit to us. It makes us strong. But I think a lot of the time, those strong sides of our personality can also be our sort of destruction in a sense. So that relentlessness that comes from an addictive mindset is what will helps me achieve my goals. So like when I get really addicted on my craft and the creation, I create relentlessly. So you'll see me release a book and within 3 months of starting it, things like that, because it's relentless. Once I'm focused, it's like I'm on it. But the same can be said for the other things. So if I'm focused on, for instance, I've just got this handheld device, and I'm not someone that likes to mess about. I want to just get things done. So let's do this. I'm sorting out my emulators. Like I said, I'm installing different versions of software on it. I'm doing all these things, having to download the games, and it's all time consuming. And like I said, you start at a certain time. You look around. It's like 9 p.m. and now we're going into the early hours because you want to wrap it up. So you ain't got to do this every day, and things mount. But that's where my mind goes, It's like that's my focus, that's my focus, that's my focus. So I feel like there's this like countdown, and it's almost like the universe needs me prepared and ready and working on next stage by a certain time. And if I'm not looking like I'm going to achieve it, they'll do something. So I feel like a real pressure to finish what I'm doing because otherwise I'm running out of time. And it just feels that's what life is like. But I knew starting this video, it might seem a bit all over the place. It might not make a lot of sense, but hopefully it resonates to those that actually need to hear it. Really, it's more about understanding your own personality. That's what it comes down to. Why you do what you do, the consequences of doing and certain things, but also maybe being easier on yourself when you want to live a normal life. I think that's what it comes down to. That's the part I have trouble with. It's just part of me just yearns for normality, not be so ambitious. That a part of me would love that because it's just simple. I had a session last year with a very gifted medium, and we had the angels, and they literally asked within that session through them, like, what do you want to ask us? And I said, "Nothing. I can't think of anything." And they said, "Look, of anyone, you're the one that would ask the most. You know, you're always thinking of something." And I asked about the situation with my daughter and things, and they literally said that that's not your concern at the moment. Even though it's my daughter, for crying out loud. It was like they have their journey, you've got yours. We need more from you at the moment. So there's a reason for everything. That was nice to. If anything, it gave a bit of validation there. That there's a reason for everything. Can't remember where I was going now. Yeah, that was it. So they said, "What do you want? What do you want? How do you see your life?" And I said, "Well, I'd like to get everything finished by the time I'm 50. So just work my ass off, get these books done, get everything finished, and then I can just and then relax and enjoy life." And they laughed and said, that's not going to happen. You're not here to do. That's not the life you're here to live. You know, you don't get to do that." So this isn't me posturing some sort of like grandeur from some weird illusion. It's literally just what's been prophesized, what's been told to me through sessions, and what I get a lot of signs of. It's a case of my purpose is something of substance. My authenticity is what shines. I think my vulnerability, there's too many people that are toxic. They pretend to be something they're not. They let that be the standard. And I alter that standard. I show myself in the rawest form I can to hopefully help other people to stand in their authenticity, and stand by themselves and realize there's nothing wrong with being us. There's just nothing wrong with it. We're all flawed. We all have flaws. Um, so yeah, within that, I just recognized that, wait a minute, I'd love to be married one day, but it's like my purpose isn't to be married. Doesn't mean I won't get married. But it was like it just showed me that there was something big for my life. There's other things, of course, I could discuss, but I'm not going to go there in this. There's no point going derailing and talking too deep on that. There's enough resource for that within my content. Um, but yeah, time is just flying by at the moment, and I feel incredibly stressed because of it. I just feel like I'm trying my best to make the most of the moments, and like I said, time is I'm just losing time. Some people just think time goes slow. For me, it's like it's relentless. It's just going too quick. I'll work on something or I'll be doing something, and all of a sudden it's dark outside. Next thing you know, it's like way past dinner time. Next thing you know, I'm still up at 7 in the morning. Like, people are getting up. I haven't even been to bed yet, and then it's like, my God, now my chest is hurting. Now I'm in pain. And I'm like, God, you're going to give yourself a freaking heart attack. And that's what I felt like yesterday. Like, my chest was really hurting. Like, it was feeling like tightness and stuff. And I thought, my God, man, you're gonna kill yourself. And it's because I've got that relentless streak in me where I can't stop once I'm fixated on something. Like I say, it's my gift, but also my crux. But I also want to show people that it's really important that you do not give up on your gifts. Don't give up on your greatness. I could easily fall into toxic patterns. I could easily just give up on a dream. I could easily just all the things I dream of from. If you think of it if you think about Harry Potter from a Muggle point of view, to live a simple, basic life, you can give up your gifts, in a sense. But that's not something I'm prepared to do. As much as I want to have a normal experience and have the same or similar things as others, I take my path very serious. And I see life like this, and it's a bit, maybe it's not for me to say whether it's right or not. Of course I believe it to be true because that's my beliefs. But we all come in for a purpose. There's a path set out for us, but we're also expected to fulfill something. I wouldn't say achieve, but we expect to fulfill something as part of our purpose. Some people have a small purpose, some people have a bigger purpose, but we're here to do something. And I have a very, very strong understanding of what my purpose is. So my conception was for a reason, and by the time I finish on Earth, there was a profound purpose to that. And me enjoying my gaming habits and me desiring a normal life That's me succumbing to the human experience, but it doesn't fulfill my purpose for being here. So many people, they get lost on their journey. So whatever their sole purpose was, sometimes it gets eroded and lost because the heaviness and density of Earth. So we all get caught up by the corruption, the materialism, and the addictions along the way. So we get sidetracked. But for me, as much as I crave the same things other people crave, it doesn't come at the expense of the sole purpose. So if I'm here to have a positive impact on humanity in my unique expression and how I create, then I will do that, because I don't want to get to the end of life, return back to spirit source, have an end of life review, and everything you was meant to achieve, you didn't. It's like a waste of an experience. You didn't achieve any of it. Had a good time, but you didn't achieve any of it. That doesn't mean anything to me. I want my boxes ticked. And if it means it comes at the expense of some of the normal things people take for granted, then that's so be it, because it's for a bigger purpose. It's all about evolution, being that cog towards positive change. But like I say, the weight, it does weigh on me, because I get exhausted. Which is why, like, I've done videos as well where I've said if I get thrust in the spotlight, that I would set strong boundaries. I won't let people dictate to me. I won't let people have these ridiculous expectations that I have to fulfill. I will do what I come here to do, but I will also prioritize self in terms of my healing and balance, because I'm exhausted now on so many levels. Because if I was to be, if people expected too much of me and I don't even have time for me, that's not a good experience. I don't want to be burnt out to that extent. I want to help people, but there has to be balance. So when I talk about that in the future and the opportunities that come and the expectation I would have of that and how firm I would be in terms of what I'm prepared to do, that can come across as arrogance, but it's not. It's just self-preservation. I know what I need, and I can't allow anyone to um, force anything on me that be detrimental to myself. Because, like I said, I'm tired now. It's crazy, but it's because of the pressure I put on. I do a book a year, but at the moment, it's like, it's crazy that Spirit's expecting the next one so swiftly. And I get a lot of signs about the opportunities are coming fast. And I've always felt it's about that. Like, sometimes you do things and you think it's not fair. Anyone sees my content, I get like 10 views at the most. That's not even normal. I don't even think that even realistically, it's barely even possible. That's the part. I think there's spirit, either negative spirit or positive spirit, because there's negative entities want to derail us too. Either way, positive or negative, something's putting a hold on my work. Something's putting a hold on what I'm able to show people. Again, for positive or negative, it's just, I'll just continue to create though, and the world will see it when it's ready. Don't know where I was going with that either. I started off with a point, didn't I? I'm so exhausted with it all. But there's a reason for everything, even the hold-ups. Oh, that's it, yeah. I get a lot of signs that the opportunities are going to come very soon. Your breakthrough will come. It'll come out of nowhere. People will be surprised. But there'll be those that are closer to you, always saw the potential. They knew what you could do. And, statistics don't define me. 10 views for me. I see other people's content. They can have millions. And I'm like, I'm good at what I do. I know what I'm talking about. And just because I only had 10 views, that does not determine my worth. That's ridiculous. So yeah, I know the world will see what I have to say in the future. And it's because I put the work in, though, isn't it? So the way I see it is the doors will open when they're supposed to open, and there's like a plan in place that we can't really see. But it's important that we take accountability and we make those steps forward when we need to. So I will be getting back on with these books very soon. And I feel like a freshness to it, and that's what's really important as well. Like, you get burnout if you just do something continuously, but when you've had a break from it, it's like quite exciting to get back to it. And I am feeling a bit. I'm getting a bit like that, where I'm starting to feel it, and it's not quite there yet. But once I'm ready to embrace it, I think I'll be ready to throw myself in and make even more progress. And then there'll be yet another book on that. And that only happens because you put the work in. But I always find it quite amusing when people think things come easy to someone. Um, yeah, they don't realize the work that went into it, and the mental anguish, the toll it took to throw yourself into it. It's like, yeah, I don't get to do half the things other people do, and it's not that I can't. It's just I won't, and it's because I have such a high standard to my life that I can't devalue myself. I literally can't do it to myself, and it's just that I don't want to do it to myself. And that's not for a fear or anything. It's just literally value. I don't want to destroy my body, so I don't abuse myself with alcohol or drugs. Never done it. No, I've had drink, but not to the point of being crazy. I've never took drugs, never smoked cigarettes. Um, Never ever in my life not touched any of it. Never wanted to. Always knew that it was like, I'm not here to destroy me. Too many people are, and it's crazy. Too many people throw themselves into toxic relationships time and time again because they're terrified of being alone. What's that going to do for you? Just lower your self-esteem and learn to teach you to hate yourself because everybody else hates you, because you keep picking people that have no respect for you. Why? Because you don't respect yourself. It all goes full circle. My standards are so high, it's rare for me to meet people that have the same vibration, because most people, unfortunately, they choose the easy way out. And a lot of people are toxic, even if they won't admit it. They're toxic. Those little things I've just said about what people can do to themselves, many people do it. And those toxic relationships they keep throwing themselves in because they have no value of themselves, that's what they do. So does that align with me? No, because I don't treat myself like that. So it's rare for me to actually be in alignment with people who have value to themselves. That's not saying I'm better than anyone else. It's just I have a better understanding of myself than most people have of themselves. I have a higher value on my life because I place it upon my life. Most people just place a low value on their life by the things they do and how they treat themselves. And that's just observation. Someone could say, "Well, no. If you're destroying yourself, you're destroying yourself." Let's be real. You can't sort of talk your way around that and start going, "Well," it's like, no. People have high value to themselves, are not interested in doing that, and that's just how that is. And it's a lot more common to come across people who are broken than it is to come across people who are strong, resilient, and healed. So yeah, those that are strong, resilient, and healed end up a lot more lonely. First of all, because they can handle it. They can handle the alone time because they're strong on themselves. They found that self empowerment. But also, it's just rarer to come across someone of an equal standard, if you like. Um, but yeah, I know it's a bit of a. I'm not sure there was like a deep. I wouldn't. Sometimes you think that was a good one. This one. I don't know if it's made a lot of sense to people. I just had like a thing on my chest I wanted to talk about. And like I say, when it comes to me getting this gaming device, sometimes I can make reckless decisions, but I calculate those reckless decisions. It's like, okay, there might be a bit of instability at the moment, or there might be a bit of hardship. Doesn't make it easy because I get really, really fed up, and end up with difficult decisions all the time. And I'm like, it just isn't fair though. Like, life shouldn't be this hard. At the end of the day, if nice things exist, I have this thought sometimes. If nice things exist, why shouldn't we be able to have those things? Why should it only be that a select few can have those things? What's the point of making them exist if it's rare? In that sense, it's like, why should someone else be able to have it and I'm not? That's not like from a greedy or self-indulgent thing. It's like just from an overall fairness. If you respect yourself, you do things for the right reasons, then why are the same things available to others not available to me? And that's where I get like really, really fed up. So sometimes I can be a bit bashful really and make some reckless choices too, because I just get fed up and I'm like, no, I want it now. I want that for me. I've been wanting one. This handheld, for instance, I've been wanting one all year. This isn't like someone might see me make a decision and think that's impulsive. It's not. It's like I've wanted it for a long time and I've just got fed up waiting. And then I saw a great deal and I'm like, if that deal hadn't existed, I would have waited again. I'd have waited till next year sometime. as much as I want it, I have that level of control. But with Black Friday, like I said, I've just saved £200 on it. It's crazy, and it's like, no, that you're not going to get it for. It's rarely you're going to get that for £300. Even, like, after Black Friday, you're looking at a minimum of four. I don't know, like it's just too good a deal sometimes, Um, and it's frustrating as shit that you look on thinking the consequence of that decision. But it's like I got it, and I'm really happy with it, and I'm like, no, why shouldn't I have this? That's my little piece of happiness. That's my tranquility. That's the little thing that I like for me. I'm not going to keep feeling guilty for having nice things. It gets like that. It gets like that. It gets really tough. Like, it got a lot tougher after, to be honest, because I counted for the bills, but a few went out that I didn't expect, sort of thing, like the numbers and things. Like, there was something that was supposed to go out next month. They're starting the repayment like thing, because sometimes if you're behind a bill, you can do a repayment thing, and it's fine. You just pay an extra little bit on top each month. That's all it is. And I was expecting that for January, because that's what the literally email said. January, first payment, 1st of January. So I thought, that don't sound right, but that's good. So you're accounting for that, and then all of a sudden the 1st December comes and they take the payment. You're like, you son of a bitch. You know what I mean? But it's like, that was an important bill though, so let's, I'm not going to kick off, because it's like, you know what? We have responsibilities. It's just made this period straight after buying it really hard now, and it's like, oh, you bastard. I have a lot more control nowadays than I did in the past. I used to buy a shit ton of games because I've got like addictive personality. So I will, if I start collecting, I'll collect. I want, but I don't have so much of a deep desire for materialism anymore. Like, not to such an extent. We all want nice things, but don't really go too mad. But because this, like I said, because this handheld's so versatile, I'm really enjoying playing with it, and it's like, that's great. In some ways counteracts my gaming laptop. Like, do you really need both? But I do, because I've got a permanent setup with my little ultra wide screen. You can't see it here, but you can see by the box in the middle, really. That's the desktop without my icons and things. And it's really nice playing games on that ultra wide. It makes it immersive and cinematic. But there's so many, like, even that, I had one again earlier before, and I returned it because I felt guilty for having it. It was a nice. When I have nice things, I often feel like a guilt for having them. So if I have like too many nice things, I have to start selling them. Where I let things go, because I'm like, oh, it's too indulgent. It's too indulgent. You can't possibly use all that. Well, it's sad, isn't it? You can't just like allow yourself the freedom to just enjoy and have. But I finally just said, no, I want that. I lost it last time. I'm pissed I lost it last time. I want it. I want another ultra wide screen. It changes my gaming laptop to this cinematic experience. So I can truly just really lose myself in the game, and have fun. That's what it's all about. Fun when I deserve to have fun. And I say this handheld, which is pretty epic. It just allows me to, like, I can sit on the sofa, I can sit on the bed, I can just, like, I won't be as sort of attached to the computer area so much, which I think is really important. Um, But yeah, it's a bit of an indulgent purchase, but I want because I've worked my ass off, and I can get bitter too. I've worked my ass off for years with nothing to show, barely anything to show from it, apart from pride, progress, and I am evolving. I am getting better at what I do, so there's greatness in that. But in terms of like tangible success, no, it's been a lack of growth in recognition, but also finances have been so hard. It's like, this is just, like I say, I get resentful because I've worked my ass off. And I know how healing what I do can be to people, especially the books. I think the videos too, though. I've never ever given myself enough credit for the videos. And I'll watch all my videos back, and some I just go, that is great. That is incredible, that one. And it's like, that would help so many people. And then I see so many people suffering. It's like, God damn, if people just open up and ready to listen to what I've got to say a little bit, it'll help. But like I say, I do all that, and then life's still hard. How does that make sense? So sometimes people might see me have nice things, and they might think, oh, he's talking shit. He's got, look at him getting that, look at him getting that. People can think what they want. Believe me, my money crisis deepens thick. It deepens thick. So all my bills went out, and after I had that, so then all the bills went out. I'm quite a transparent person, so I don't give a shit. All of a sudden, I had like £120 left, and I went, that's going to be a shitter. Then I went, oh, crap, this has got to go out. So there's a bill that has to go out for another 20 quid. And it might seem inconsequential, but when you haven't got a lot, and and you're literally going, it's going to be tight, and then it's getting tighter. That's not a good thing. For instance, I do sort of advertise my books on Amazon directly, and they took an advertising fee, however much that was that month. They took some out of that, and it's like, oh, that's bloody great, because the money's just getting. It's just like if you're feeling yourself getting tighter and tighter, because you want to make sure you got food. So the bills have been taken care of. That's where like you're a bit relaxed because you can. Well, at least the bills are done for the month, for the most part. There's just a couple coming up like later, but I should be able to cover them with another payment that's coming in. But other than that, it's like it's still tight though, and I'm having to budget like immensely budget. And when something keeps going out, it's like, wait, that's going to really affect my food soon. That's when you get really pissed, isn't it? Because who wants to struggle for food? That's not a good place. And of course, then you turn around and say, you shouldn't have bought that. And I'm fully aware of that. Like, part of me is thinking, you're an idiot. You shouldn't have got it yet. But then it's like, when can I get it? Well, you can't. Well, then why can't I have nice things? It goes round in circles, And it's like, you know what? Sod it. I'm having it. And we just have to sort of budget and get our way through this shitty period. Because it's just come at the worst time, because we've had all the Christmas to sort out. And then have great deals come up at the same bleeding time. And it is what it is. So like I say, I have things sometimes, but believe me, the knock-on effect is very rarely is it easy. Very rarely do I get to, because that's the thing. Like I had the mindset that it's better to save, and then when you've got enough saved, then you can treat yourself. But the trouble is, in the way my life's been, while I've been trying to create all the work I've done, it's come with immense sacrifice, like immense. And if I keep waiting until I've got anything, I'm never going to be able to get anything. It's just because it's that slow paced. And it's frustrating because I have sacrificed a lot. Like I had a really good paying job a year or so ago. It was destroying me. I've talked about it before. My back. It was really poorly managed. But in terms of the money, it was great. I didn't worry about anything. But aside from the money, it was destroying me. It was demoralizing going in. It was destroying my back. You're not getting the respect you deserve. You're run by a bunch of morons. And it's like, that's heavy for my soul. Forcing myself into there like a trapped monkey. That's what it felt like. I'm a caged animal, and I'm giving up all my freedom for the currency of money. And it was like that's not my values. That's not who I am. So I get frustrated today sometimes, and that money's tight. But I never ever do I think for a moment that I shouldn't have left. It doesn't cross my mind. I know I had to leave because that was destroying me being in a toxic environment like that. So I acknowledge the hardship. I suck it up. So sometimes I get quite petulant and I make a decision that's a bit unwise. I work my way through it, and I'm still alive. And it's like that's what it is. So it just means my life is always harder than it potentially has to be. But then I just think if you didn't get those things to treat yourself in periods, it's like that you're just on another side of it. Okay, maybe you don't have the financial pressure, but maybe you're a bit more miserable. Because sometimes you just need those distractions. And I thought about that recently, even just with this purchase. I'm very transparent. I just talk because I don't really care what people think, to be honest, of me. I know what I think of me, and that's really what's relevant. I was like, as much as I want this, if I was in a relationship, for instance, at that moment, I probably wouldn't have bought it. Well, first of all, I'd have had the responsibility of the other person's life on my shoulders, and I would have love for them because if I'm in a relationship, obviously I love them. So there's it's not like, I don't want to use the word obligation, but there's a desire to build together. And if you can't afford it, it's not fair to put that on them. But also, I don't think it's almost like it's a distraction anyway. It's a distraction from the mundane. It doesn't mean if I was in a relationship and I was really happy that I still wouldn't want one because it'd be nice to have it. But if he was really flourishing, the money that I consider a lot of money, it may be very inconsequential. So someone that's got wealth, that's nothing, is it? That's just change. You can easily go and get it. Someone that's struggling, it's a freaking hardship. So sort of swings and roundabouts for that, really. But I did realize that even when I was getting it, that if different timelines had occurred, I wouldn't have probably looked even to get that. So, for instance, if my daughter's living with me at home, then my home life's different. My routine's different. How much time do I have to use that? What is my daily life like? So what are the things we're doing? And then you're looking going, it's not really necessary because based on the hours we have available. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So it's not like an essential purchase. Likewise, if I'm in a relationship and we're doing things, we're having a really nice life together, it's like, well, I don't want to, you don't want to sort of like hinder that, but also, is it necessary? But then when you're on your own, there's an awful lot of lull periods. So you have to entertain yourself. So now all of a sudden you get more desires for some things just to fill a void. And that's what it becomes. So for instance, if I were in a relationship already, then I probably wouldn't have bought that. But because I am not in a relationship at the moment, I want to distract myself with something that keeps me busy. And that's what I did. So, look, and I talk about my spiritual path all the time. And as I look at my phone, I know it's not quite the numbers. If I could sit and wait, but what's the point? Where are we? 554, but literally within moments, it's going to be 555, and that's a synchronicity. And it's worth googling those numbers. So once it's 555, then you could look at it and Google it, because I mean it was so close to it, it was ridiculous. And sometimes I take those meanings as well, like it's nearly. So the fact that it was nearly 555 tells me that potentially I'm nearly there, whatever the 555 means. Wouldn't even be surprised if it's relationship. I think 555 is change, because it's in the middle of a cycle, isn't it? Like 10 is the completion of a cycle, 1 is the beginning of a cycle, 0 is like a new beginning, leap of faith. So stands to reason. I think 4 is protection, and I think 5 is literally it's change, but it's not comfortable change, is it? 5, because even if you put it in the terms of tarot, it's like it's uncomfortable. You feel the weight of everything. Again, what am I talking about? I'm talking about these things while it's 5. Again, you're never going to get anything on this camera, am I? Oh, you're never going to see it. The camera is terrible. It pisses me off. It sends me in a freaking loop. Anyway, why is it not showing all of a sudden? Anyway, yeah, 555. But it's weird that the number comes up as I'm talking about the hardships and the struggle. And literally, I feel that's where I am on my journey at the moment a little bit. It's there, but it's all upwards. It's all onwards and upwards if we make the right decisions and prioritize self. Because that's the thing, isn't it? It's like if you live, I think if you live a life, if you live a life built to be alone, you may stay alone. Yeah, so I'm building for the future, but trying to find some sort of equilibrium and peace in my mind so the weight and pressure doesn't become unbearable. Because believe me, it gets really, really demoralizing. I'm a strong personality and I have a lot of internal belief in myself. That gets unwavering. Even when I have low days, I get really, really fed up. Like when I say bad days, it can get really, really demoralizing, like deeply. But deep down, I always know it's all leading somewhere. You know, I don't ever doubt that. But it's really demoralizing when you put your heart and soul into something, and not only do you not get the sales you feel you deserve, you can barely get a view on any platform. I could put my content on Instagram, I could put it on YouTube, I can put it on TikTok, I can put it anywhere. And for the time being, I can't even get the views. I can't get anything. And it's like, that is soul destroying when you've put everything into it, you know? So I don't half-ass any of what I do, even these videos. I don't half-ass them and try and take cheap shots or talk in circles or do anything that I think is just pointless. I'm vulnerable in everything I do, and I'm honest. And I'll do that in the video I do, the audio, if I do the podcasts and books and things. And yet I know that as soon as I publish it, no one gets to see it. And it doesn't get to have the impact that I was hoping it would have on people's lives. But I do know, or at least I feel, the day will come when it will have a huge impact on people. And it will come out of the blue to an extent, and people will be like, oh my God, it'd be like, I said that ages ago. Like, to me, it's old, you know? But the whole point is we're here to make a difference where we can and fulfill our purpose. And even if you don't get recognition in this lifetime, and it seems like it was a lost cause, you never know the lives you touch along the way, but also the lives we can touch in the future. So what I do today, maybe even in this lifetime, maybe you don't get the recognition. Then maybe someone sees it after I'm gone, you know? And I think that's worth thinking about. Like, what do you want your life to stand for? What do you want to have accomplished? And I talk about it a lot. It's about following you, beat to your own drum and following your path, not mirror someone. Don't go, oh, that looks interesting. Well, I think I can do well with that if I copy that. That's not being yourself, and that's really losing sight of why you come here. You literally, some people do that. They focus so heavily on other people, they get jealous, and they want to do what they do, and they want their life. And it's like, but that wasn't your soul contract before you come here. So you're losing sight, you're losing track so much that when you get to the end and have a life review, you didn't achieve anything. You might think you did everything great. You might go, "Oh, I've achieved a lot in this life." Yeah, but none of it was what you were supposed to do. That weren't your life to achieve. That wasn't for you to achieve that. You've literally just lost track of everything. You didn't learn the lessons. There's a reason we have a certain life goal in this lifetime, and it can be karma, and it can be lessons from a previous life. And it can be to put everything into practice, all the knowledge and wisdom you gained over those successive lifetimes. Um, and it allows you to speak and draw upon that experience that you channel through in this lifetime. So it's come from lifetimes of struggle, or all sorts of things. I get signs that this is my last lifetime if I choose, which tells me that in a soul, in spirit, it's of a high ranking soul I have. So it stands to reason, really, because like I said, the standards I set in my life, I'm unwavering. And then when I witness other people, it seems very rare. But I think if you've had many lifetimes and you learn rapidly through those lifetimes, your soul is very firm in itself and it's strong, and so it can't be wavered. So that's something to think about. But again, it doesn't change the fact that we all still have to live this life together. So even if you see life in a different way, you're still bound by the same, rules to an extent, the same distractions, same temptations. It's just I think sometimes some of us see through the illusions quicker than others. And I think some of us have an inner belief and confidence in ourselves where we can transcend beyond things. But it doesn't mean we're not experiencing it in the same way that others are. Like I said, my financial situation is freaking precarious as hell, especially leading up to Christmas. It's not the best feeling. It doesn't make me feel low about myself personally. I just think the circumstances suck. And it's like, I'll get through it. It's an experience. It's a heck of a journey. Isn't fair, but then you could argue, are most people's struggles fair? It's a reflection of a journey, though, of course. Like for me, my struggles are a reflection of my not only my belief, but my determination to live the life of my dreams. So with the life of my dreams is going to come sacrifice. So sometimes you have to throw yourself at the mercy and allow yourself to be reborn, really, and jump into those new beginnings. But to do that, you're going to have to lose sometimes lose everything to allow the freedom to push onto that venture. Because most people, especially people I meet, they're terrified of that. What I've done with my leap of faith, and I make my life an immense struggle, people will not let go and do that. So if they see success in the future with me, I know that people will be jealous because that's human nature. Like I said, most people are toxic. But yet they stayed in the comfort of their positions. Even if it made them miserable, they still had the currency of money. So they validate to themselves that it's for a reason. I need to do this, blah, blah, blah. And then when someone maybe lives a different life, doesn't conform to those same norms, and then manage to achieve something remarkable, it's like that's not fair to them. But it's like, yeah, but you never had the guts to do that. You never had the guts to make that change that was really hard. It almost made you look crazy. But it's up to us how we live our life, isn't it? Like I say, my life is not easy, and I'm in a permanent state of frustration with myself because I can't be everywhere at once. I'm not a bloody octopus. So the part of me that really wants to indulge and just enjoy myself, and I feel I deserve to enjoy myself. I know innately I can't even afford to. I need to get on with the next project because the world, people, I don't want to sound like Superman, but it's like the world needs me. And I know they do because of the work I do. The books will help people, and I know the videos will too. So there's an obligation to get these things done for other people. There's going to be a time when they need it. And if I don't do it, they can't see it. So what I do, it does come at a sacrifice because I'm having to take myself away from other things. Now, the things I take myself away from in the overall scheme of things, if it becomes successful, of course, people look and go, well, of course you would. Why wouldn't you? Well, try saying that when you're not getting anywhere with it. It's easy to say that after the fact, once success comes. But when everything so far has pointed to the fact that success isn't coming, it's a hardship for nothing. And it's not worth your time to an extent. It's like, it's not so easy to say, just get on with it. I mean, I do, but yeah, it's a bit trivial. So yeah, um, but I don't know. If you try and indulge in certain things, it does seem pointless in comparison, doesn't it? And that's just the way we have to pick ourselves up. But a lot of people, like I said, I wouldn't say unfairly, but sometimes I just wish for the simple life because it's far easier, isn't it? That'd be nice.